in association with the Safaricom Jazz Lounge.
Dear Mr. President, restoring dignity to survivors of sexual and gender-based violence and their families. I take this opportunity to write to you to express my deep concern about your silence on the increase of sexual violence in our country. Sexual violence is undeniably a violation of human rights and has become the single most cruel, steadily growing crime in Kenya. The magnitude of this crime is enormous, with its consequences threatening to financial implications on victims, survivors, and their families, ripping our economy apart.
Absolutely. That is the letter you have for the president?
Yes.
And you've written it to him and you want to deliver it at some point?
Yes, I want to deliver it to him, but I just wanted for him to know that I'm willing to work with him to actually address and help him understand the context of sexual violence.
Keep tweeting at Wangu Kanja, at Kwenanga Jeff. The hashtag we're using tonight is never give up. And Wangu Kanja's story is probably a story that's spread throughout this country of 43 million people. As I said earlier on the show, a woman is raped every 90 seconds in this country, according to statistics. I tell you, it's scary. Many of them don't report it. Many of them feel they'll be stigmatized. Many of them feel that they won't be accepted anymore. Wangu Kanja came out and talked about it and is still talking about it and encouraging women, young ladies, young girls, and young boys to talk about her ordeal.
Even men.
And young men.
Even men in general.
Grown men.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tweets. Let me read a couple of tweets. Sialo Kimiring says, thanks for bringing Wangu Kanja to JK Live. I can't imagine what they go through at the hands of criminals and rapists. Peter Kishanga says, men should be at the forefront in the protection of our mothers, daughters, and sisters. A lot of people watching you. Tony Mwangi says, I know Wangu as a resilient soul. I have worked together with her and she is a soft power. Go, girl. You know Tony Mwangi?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Mukavana George says, oh my, Jeff, we are sitting on a ticking time bomb that can explode. Lord have mercy. Keep tweeting at Wangu Kanja, at Kwenanga Jeff, hashtag again, never give up. So, the most harrowing story you have ever heard. Go on. The one that broke your heart, the one that says, my goodness, is this Sodom and Gomorrah? Are we living in hell?
So this is two or 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. So I received a phone call from one of my friends because they know my networks. We operate in a network where if I can't support someone and they are far, I can actually call or reach out to someone and help them. So 3 weeks ago, my friend calls me and tells me a 1 year, 4 months old baby was raped. Okay, we call it defilement in our Kenyan law. Defiled, and she's in hospital and she needs reconstructive surgery.
16 months old. Because her insides had been destroyed, right?
Yes. And for me, my thinking is, if we are always rationalizing, condoning, and justifying violence, what does a man see in a 16-year-old child?
16-month-old.
A 16-month-old child. Because for me, I think I would want to kill that person using my bare hands. You're destroying a soul. This is a child who doesn't know even what life is all about. And that's one child among many. For the last 1 year, we've handled 189 cases.
189
cases.
Different.
So that's rape, defilement, sodomy, other forms of physical abuse, child neglect, you name it. But for me, the most disappointing thing is we have 54 defilement cases, 24 in court, the rest have not gotten to court because of one thing or the other.
And where are the perpetrators?
The 24 have been apprehended. The rest have not been apprehended.
They're in the streets.
They're in the streets. Because one person decided either to tamper with the evidence, a person decided not to do their work, a person decided it's not me, so why should I care? Why should I actually protect and serve this person?
Back to the 16-month-old.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
She's doing okay. She went through the surgery and she's recuperating.
She's going to be all right?
Yeah. But for me, it's sad. If parents cannot protect their children, who will? If we cannot protect our fellow brothers and sisters, who can?
And can you imagine that little girl's mother today? How does she think? What goes through her mind? And probably the person who raped her is someone who's known in that circle.
Actually, it's somebody who's known in their circle, and their family, him and their family are threatening the family so that the case does not get to court. Yes. That's the sad fact that we have to live with in Kenya, but this is what I'm telling Kenyans. We need to do something about it. You and me need to work to end any form of violence in Kenya, because I don't see us having a country in the next couple of years.
No.
Yeah.
Wangu, when you think back, have we always been this violent, or when did the rain start beating us?
We have, but with time, the crimes evolve.
And people get away with it,
Yeah.
and they feel they can do it more.
Yeah, and they can continuously continue doing the same thing. They will move. I'll move to Mukuru, from Mukuru to Kwanjenga to South B, and I'm not being held accountable for my actions. But they are also evolving. This was some years back. It was a crime because of opportunity. So you're somewhere, you're seeing an opportunity, you take advantage of it. Nowadays, people are premeditating. And the reason why I'm saying this, can you think of a man abducting a boy and actually having to lubricate him before penetrating him? Because that's where we've gotten. And they're using normal lubricants or petroleum jelly, some avocados.
Yeah? Avocado.
Yeah. And that's what is happening in the ground. And that's what we are living in and with. Perpetrators who have gotten to that level where they know we cannot be held accountable. Nobody is going to bring us to book. So what the heck?
And these victims aren't speaking out.
They're not speaking out because we are condemning them instead of holding the perpetrators accountable. So it's a high time. And my reason why I'm writing this letter is because the president, when he was sworn in, he actually swore to uphold the Constitution. And the Constitution is very clear. Every single Kenyan needs to be treated with dignity and respect, despite of your religion, culture. And this, when you're violating someone, you're not treating them with dignity and respect. You're violating their rights. You're violating them, who they are. And you're destroying that life. And that's why we are having alcoholism. Many young people are actually turning to alcoholism.
And drugs.
And drugs. So why do we go pouring alcohol and yet we are not addressing the underlying problem? We are not having comprehensive care and support in all government hospitals. Treasury is not allocating resources to help survivors of sexual violence. So what have we turned out to be as Kenyans? Because I think it's a man-eat-man society. If we can set up a dog unit, we can set up an anti-stock theft unit, but we cannot set up a gender crimes unit to document, investigate crimes that are actually affecting Kenyans who are voters, who are taxpayers. That's wrong.
And this happens in Mukuru kwa Ruben where you work, where Wangu Kanja
Kanja
Foundation
Foundation.
is based,
Yeah.
it happens every day.
It happens in Mukuru. It happens around the country. So it happens everywhere. And that's why we are actually, in our network, we are lobbying for a gender crimes unit because it will help us prosecute perpetrators, because we will do our documentation in the right way. We will have police who are doctors who can actually treat survivors with dignity and respect. When I present myself at a police station, and you know the OB desk, some people have to tell their story there in front of
Everyone else.
every single person who's come to report a case. Then what are you doing to that individual? And
You're
then
dehumanizing.
yeah, and then the person who's there might not be sensitive
Yes,
enough to.
yes.
They'll be like,
Alafu-
unatoa nini? Wewe ulienda kujienjoy alafu unga ikapita maji ndio mnakuja hapa kureport. And that time it's a father who has defiled a daughter. It's wrong. And we must stand up as Kenyans. We need to, the same way we are saying, we need to take back, survivors need to be helped to take back their dignity, to claim back their dignity. We actually need to take back our country in our hands.
Yeah.
We vote leaders who don't represent us, who don't fight for us. We need to hold every single individual accountable for their actions.
Where'd you get your funding, Wangu? It must be difficult because with all these women coming to you every day and you having to provide the support, where was the funding coming from?
So I do fundraising, I write proposals. When I submit it, whether it comes through or not, I'll still continue doing it because it's my passion to see that every single survivor is supported. Some of the costs, some of the medical costs are very expensive.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about whether I have money or not, we must help. So if I need someone to be taken to hospital and I don't have money, I call my friends and tell my friends, you know what, we need 200,000 shillings because of 1, 2, 3. And I have very good friends. And thank you for being my friends because they come through for me. At times, I'm frustrated and disappointed because the costs of offering medical or even reconstructive surgery is 1 million shillings. And maybe that's what you've received as funding for a project. Then you have to pay that for medical cost as medical cost for someone. And then you're left with nothing. But I am working with people who are passionate and are committed to the cause.
If people want to get in touch, it's www.wangukanjafoundation.org.
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Wangu Kanja Foundation.
KanjaFoundation.org. Yeah. Or they can call 0722 790 404.
0722 790 404.
Yes. And we ask for any kind of support in kind, because we have people like lawyers who can volunteer with us. We have so many cases in court.
Yeah.
We have we can even take in internships for psychological support counselors because people need counseling, and we need to encourage people to access psychological support
Sure.
because that's the only way you can start
Sure.
your healing process.
14 years later, Wangu,
Yeah.
has Wangu learned to love or learned to forgive?
For me, it's a learning process. Every single day is a learning process. Because when I see a young girl who's come and she needs my support, it takes me back to where I was, like 14 years ago. But it's not my fault. I did not call upon myself to be raped, and neither is every single person out there who has gone through that. And all families should stop judging. Create an environment for people to talk about their ordeals, to tell their stories. I have learned how to love. I've learned, it's difficult, but I'm learning to forgive, but also to appreciate life. Because I'm doing this so that tomorrow, if I ever get a child, they come into a society that is free from any form of violence. And Jeff, we need to do something because election year is here and we need to ensure that we don't have violence in 2017 because I'm concerned. We have not addressed the issues of all survivors of sexual violence in 2007 and we are going to 2017. I'm praying we don't have chaos because we will get more people who've been violated and maybe go through the same vicious cycle and not get the support that they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wangu, we've got about a minute to go before we end the show. That's your camera over there.
Yeah.
Talk to victims, talk to perpetrators who know themselves and they're probably watching you right now. Go on, talk to them. What do you tell them?
So for all the victims and survivors out there, I'm here for you and there are so many other people who are willing to work with you and support you. And feel free to get in touch with us. We have a short code to 1094. Just send a text and someone will call you back. To all perpetrators, watch out because we will hold every single one of you accountable for your action. But my last message is to Mr. President Uhuru Kenyatta. I have a letter for you. I need to deliver it because it's very comprehensive and it has solutions to addressing issues of sexual violence. And we need to work together so that we can have a Kenya that is free from any form of violence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wangu Kanja. There's Mukuru Youth Initiative. They say, great woman of virtue. She has so much passion in ensuring a community free of SGBV.
Sexual and gender-based violence.
That.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you for sharing
Thank you
your
for
story.
hosting me.
Anytime. And
Yeah.
you know, let's keep talking.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking. It's people like you who talk about your stories and other stories that'll help us down the line. Keep doing what
Together
you
we can.
do. Together we can.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Wangu Kanja people, tell a friend to tell a friend who knows a friend. If you've been raped, violated, defiled, sodomized, the works, there is hope. Go to wangukanjafoundation.org. They're in Mukuru Ruben, and they're all over the country. They're helping women, men, young men get their lives together again. Keep tweeting at Wangu Kanja, at Konanga Jeff, the hashtag never give up. Next week is a new week, new show, new guests, new themes, new topics. But the one thing that's always consistent, those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other, JKL. That's right, every Wednesday, Thursday, 10 p.m., KTN Home and KTN News. Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Good luck. God bless all those people out there in Mukuru and all the other places. God bless.